Hey friends, Doug Shoemaker here with the Shoemaker Loan Team at Homestead Financial Mortgage. And today I want to dive into something that a lot of my clients have been talking quite a bit about lately, and that is trigger leads and how you can actually stop getting slammed with credit card offers, phone calls, and spam texts right after you apply for a loan. Now, if your phone's been blowing up after applying for a mortgage or a car loan, stick around because this video is definitely going to be for you. So, what the heck are trigger leads? Well, over about the last few years, trigger leads have become a real headache. And here's kind of how it works. When you apply for credit, like a mortgage or an auto loan, or when there's a change in public records, maybe like a mortgage being recorded, the credit bureaus take that activity and they sell it to marketing companies. Yep, you heard me right. They actually sell your data. And that means that lenders and other service providers now know that you might be in the market for a loan or a new financial product. So, what do they do actually? Well, they start calling, emailing, and texting nonstop. This is actually why some of you apply for a loan and then 2 days later you feel like you accidentally signed up for every credit card promo under the sun. Now, that's a trigger lead in action. So here's a crazy story from just last year. One of our loan officers actually had been working with a client for a couple months and going over different financial options, different loan types, all that good stuff while the client was looking for homes. So when the client finally got an accepted contract, they'd made an offer and it was accepted, the credit report had expired. So that credit report needed to be pulled again. And here's the crazy thing. Within about 24 hours, somebody actually called this client pretending to be from our company. They said, "Hey, we're really, really sorry, but we had a data breach and we're going to need to have you re upload your tax returns and pay stubs and bank statements and all that good stuff all over again." Now, thankfully, we always train our clients to pause if anything feels off, or a term I like to use very often is oddly urgent. So if you're considering going through the home buying process, remember, if something's oddly urgent, do not proceed. Call your lender and make sure that that request is legit before taking any kind of action. Now, in our case, that little red flag actually saved the day because the client reached out to us first thing before sending anything to this scamster. So, to make a long story short, this scammer did not work for us, but they had just enough information from a trigger lead to sound really, really convincing. Let me introduce you to optoutprescreen.com. Now, this is not anything new. It's been around for at least 5 years or so, but it just hasn't caught fire like I thought it might have. And I think because the spamming and trigger lead issues just haven't been as bad as they've become over the last year or so. Now, optoutprescreen.com is actually the official website that's managed by the four major credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Innovis. And this is where you can actually go to opt out of receiving these pre approved offers. Now, it's free, it's pretty darn easy. And it is one of the best ways to reduce this kind of spam and some of the scams that you might normally get attacked with. Now, you can choose to opt out for 5 years or even permanently if you do their mail in form. And I'll actually drop a link below in the description so that you can check it out. Now, do make sure to click the button to opt out. It's defaulted to opt in, so it can look a little bit tricky. And once you've actually clicked that opt out or opt in button, you put in all your details. When you submit that thing, it'll tell you up at the top whether you've opted out or whether you've opted in. So if you had already opted out in the past and you forgot maybe, doing this again could, if you've got the default checked, opt you back in. So just make sure you pay attention to that part of it because, of course, you want to opt out, not in. Now, here's the big question. Is it legit and does it actually help? Now, most users say yes. They actually notice less junk mail and fewer calls within about a week or two. Some even verified that a note gets added to their credit file that says that they've opted out. And it's backed by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So this isn't some random website, it really is the real deal. But of course, there are some mixed reviews. Some people did say that they got more junk after opting out. Others said that the process of opting back in, if you ever wanted to, was kind of a pain. Honestly, guys, it's the same process from what I saw whenever I went and did it for myself. You just have to look for those little buttons as to whether you're opting out or opting in. But they do say that it can take up to 30 days for it to completely kick in. Now, also, you might miss out on a few exclusive offers, but let's be really honest. If you're working with me, we're focused on the best loan for you, not junk offers. Now, also keep in mind, it is not instant. You should allow at least 5 days or so after you opt out before you have your credit pulled. So let's say, for instance, you know that you're going to be looking to buy a house in the next week or so, you're going to start that process. Well, you would want to go and opt out today. And then within the next 5 to 10 days, that's when you would maybe start looking at that full credit pull. Now, if you're working with lenders that will also do soft pulls, we could actually do a soft pull for you, which does not affect those trigger leads and start your process. Wait 5 or 10 days and then do the full credit pull. That way, your opt out pre screen has likely gone through, and the chances of people reaching out to you and sending you a bunch of junk are very, very limited. So, again, you want to give it a couple weeks probably to take full effect, and it's not going to stop all spam, but it will drastically reduce credit based marketing. Now, this is not the same as freezing your credit. That's a totally different strategy, and I'll actually talk about that in another video that I put out a little later on. But you can actually opt out for your kids as well. They just need to be at least 13 years old. So here's the big question: should you opt out? If you're tired of these pre approved offers filling up your mailbox or phone, this is a great option to consider. It's simple, it's legit, and it helps put you back in control of your info. But like anything else, it is not perfect. Know what to expect and make the choice that's right for you. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you got a better understanding of these trigger leads and how to actually protect yourself and your family from some of these scammers out there. And hey, if you found this helpful, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and share it with somebody that you know that just applied for a home loan or is maybe considering doing that and is getting hammered with spam, or maybe you want to protect them from that. And always, if you have a question about this, credit, your home loan, just reach out. We're always here for you and we're always glad to help, even if you're just looking for a second opinion.